amenities, and the kitchens. In one of those 27 bedrooms lay the man she had vowed to kill. It would have been simple enough to find where he slept and take one of her butchering knives to him. She was adept at hacking apart mutton and sides of beef. The muscles in her slender arms attested to that. Surely a living, breathing male wouldn't be that much harder. A sliced jugular, and her life's ambition would be complete. But she didn't gossip with the servants, didn't join them in their hall for cards and flirtation and speculation on those above stairs. And with Ainsley Hall deserted of everyone but the unwanted guest, she couldn't very well wander the hallways looking for him. There was always the possibility that he might recognize her after all those years. It was, however, unlikely. Doubtless she was just part of a distant memory, if that. Ruined lives would have little meaning for a man like her enemy. She was probably one in a long line of victims. She wondered what Ellen would think when she heard the news, that a ramshackle cousin had been slaughtered, and her chef was being held accountable. Most untidy, Ghislaine thought with detachment, shaking her head. Perhaps she could find a neater way to handle the problem, if only she knew how long he was planning to stay. She didn't want to rush into something that was better savored. Lady Ellen Fitzwater had left Ainsley Hall the day he arrived, prey to those odd conventions the English put such great store by. Even with the protection of her half-deaf companion, Miss Binnerston, Ellen couldn't reside in a huge house like Ainsley Hall with an unmarried male of no more than distant connection. Not when he had such a shocking reputation as Nicholas Blackthorne possessed. So she decamped, grumbling as she went, and Ghislaine had been entirely prepared to accompany her. Until she heard the man's name. "Damn my cousin!" Ellen had fumed, her soft blue eyes indignant. She loved to curse, and while she practiced as often as she could, the words never sounded quite right coming from her gentle mouth. She tried to get Ghislaine to instruct her in gutter French, but Ghislaine had steadfastly refused. "Why damn your cousin?" Ghislaine had inquired evenly moments before, her illusion of safety shattered. "If you don't want him here, simply tell him he can't come." "He's already here. Besides, an unmarried female doesn't have much right to an opinion in such matters. Ainsley Hall might be my residence, but it does, in fact, belong to my brother, Carmichael, up until the time I may choose to marry. If I remain on the shelf, it will be passed along to his offspring. If I marry, my husband will own it. In the meantime, I'm lucky I'm allowed to reside here with Binny. If the price I have to pay for that luxury is decamping every time some ramshackle half-relative shows up, then I'll pay that price willingly." "Not willingly," Ghislaine pointed out. "No, not willingly," Ellen admitted. "If only it was someone other than Nicholas Blackthorne. Why, the blackest of all the black sheep. The one person likely to compromise every healthy female between 6 and 60, who even happens to be within the same country as he is. A decadent, dissolute, positively cynical wretch. And he's driving me from my— Are you quite all right, Jilly?" Her tone of voice changed to one of sudden concern. Ghislaine had sunk abruptly into a chair. "I'm fine," she said faintly. "Tell me about your cousin." "Heavens, most of his reputation is so shocking, I don't know the half of it. He's the last of the mad Blackthornes, from the northern branch of the family, and a nasty bit of goods he is. Cool and self-centered and unbearably wicked. If only he weren't my cousin." Ghislaine managed to rouse herself to a semblance of polite conversation. Because he embarrasses you?